up the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome back, folks, to a Friday freakout, apparently. Man, you never know what you're going to get, man. I'm in a good mood. I'm like, we're going to have this good Friday energy. We're going to get this thing cranked up here. I'm in a pretty good mood. I log in and the sky is falling, baby. Commander Luke, all the recruits are gone. Marcus Freeman's on a 3-month backpacking vacation through the hills of Europe. And all the recruits are gone. And Notre Dame is screwed. So thanks for coming, everybody. We'll talk to you Monday. Man, this is just, I didn't expect that. Oh man, now we're bringing up Deuce. Deuce is a lock. Homer TD, vacation. The guy never worked, son of a buck. Commander, listen, man. Saying the Deuce is loose was the only redeeming quality of losing him, is that you could put it on articles and titles, and I could actually push it through, like at Sports Illustrated, to do the Deuce is loose article. Commander, I used to think I was the one wound pretty tight. You gotta take a chill pill or a chill gummy. You gotta do something, brother. You got to do something, man. It will get into it, but man. And what Commander's mad at, I don't even know if it's real. That's the funny part is, I don't even know if it's real what he's all mad at. Oh my gosh. Whew. All right. So let's get into this. I actually had kind of a fun topic today. Couple calls. We'll get my main man Martinez in here and out, and then he could go back to work. I had a fun idea today, and I thought about this late last night. All I wanted to do is just think about some things that would surprise me about Notre Dame's season. Really, really simple concept, perfect summer idea. I just want to go over. I just sat there with a pen and wrote, what would surprise me about 25 Notre Dame? And I just, not in any order of one's most strong to me and then 10 isn't. I just wrote down some general things that I'm thinking about that would surprise me about 2025 Notre Dame season. So that's what I want to get into. I think it's going to be a fun little exercise. I don't understand the war eagle thing. What are they, tigers? What does an eagle have to do with the tiger? That has always bothered me about Auburn. What am I missing? What is a war eagle? If you were the Eagles, then it would make sense. If you were the Eagles, living it up at the hotel, Mississippi, or wherever Deuce is from, whatever. Cue the double guitars and the Joe Walsh. Give me the Eagles. Aren't they the Tigers or something? What does the Eagles have to do with it? Anyways. The last time I remember an eagle, Brian Kelly was nursing it back to health on the edge of a cliff. And then the eagle spread. You will raise you up on Kelly's eagle wings, grinding on every recruit that comes, jet skiing to the country club. What? All right. We're going to get serious about this. We're going to get serious about this. I don't understand the War Eagle thing. I don't get it. Yeah, whatever, man. So what I wanted to do is just go over 10 things that would surprise me. So let's get through the introduction. Let me get Martinez in and out of here so we can go back to work. I don't want that man having a forklift accident on my behalf. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Give the video a thumbs up. You're already there, so go ahead. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs. Yeah, Kelly cares. Please donate. He cares about that next tea time. Donate. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, rat Always Irish, emails Always Irish, nd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that one. Hit the audio only, baby. Call in lines. 312-988-15. Dialed up. Tell Uncle Johnny all the footballs you've heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He's the former captain. He's the leading tackler. Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. I don't know why I did that in a Coach O voice, but it's a Friday and I'm feeling freaky, baby. Anyways, thanks for being here. My main man, Martinez, $5 holler. Blessed morning, Johnny. Let's keep the momentum rolling from the last show. Let's go. WPP, the educated gangster. WPP, he got fired up, man. He got fired up when I least expected it, man. The guy let loose. I appreciate the intensity, to be honest. All right, let's get Martinez in. He could go back to work. Then I accidentally did the Orgeron, and it wasn't even full Coach O. That was like a half Coach O. Oh, Irish Cubby. I just got in a little mood there. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm glad you noticed, though. I'll be honest. I'm trying to, in the off season, it's healthy for me to get off of Twitter a little bit. It's just good for my sanity. I'm not on there as much as I am in the season where there's news every day, every hour about college football, literally from August till it's over. There's something. So in the summer, I back off a little bit, but then every once in a while, I just get this bug and it just says, and then I just let it loose. So I did a little trolling yesterday. I trolled Kelly. I trolled USC. I was in a little mood. So I'm just glad you noticed, to be honest. Let's see what Martinez is up to. What's going on, main man?
Hey, Johnny, man. Hey, I'm real quick. I wouldn't even want to call in today, man. Hey, I just want to give a big shout out to West Palm Pat, man. And to Adam 415, man. Great debate, man. Great points. And then I'll let you guys, I'm just going to listen in with hiding in my headphones. But the reason I want to give a shout out because he goes, I want to punch his fist with my face. And as I thought about that, I was like, how else are you going to punch somebody?
Dude, I just thought it was awesome. It just came out of nowhere. It was totally fine. And then he let it rip. I loved it. That's what this place was built on. I love it.
Yeah, man. For a big shout out, man. You know what? And right there, you really heard the passion. Put all the whole low IQ and however we view each other as men, man. The one common thing. Go ahead.
I just think it's funny, man. You got a low IQ host here too, trying to keep it all on the tracks.
Yeah. Then he says, and in my world, I'd be like, you want to punch his face with your fist. in the G world, it's like, hey, just sock his ass up real quick. I'm like, and he'd probably be the one that'd be like, wait, what does that mean? But man, big shout out, man. It really showed his passion to dude, man. I really just want to sit and listen today, but thanks for getting me in. Amazing little debate the other day. And just one real quick, Commander Luke, stop stressing on the recruits. Whether we lose them or we get them, Marcus, we lose them, they got plan Bs, Johnny. You know what I mean? So we've seen what my man Al Washington did with the third string DN Viper with my boy Junior Halefalemaca, man, last year having a breakout season. So, Johnny, I'm gonna let you get to it, bro. I just really want to give a big shout out to West Palm Pat on that, man. Like sincerely, Johnny, love you guys. Love the chat. Have a blessed weekend, man. Onward, Notre Dame, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Don't work too hard, and then relax over the weekend, man. Have yourself some fun, my friend.
Will do, buddy. God bless.
Have a good one. See ya. Man, I didn't hear no beeping trucks. I didn't hear any construction equipment. My man's on break. Son of a buck says, give us a hell yeah, brother, in the coach. Oh, wait, what is this? Spring break with all them college girls down there in the bikini down there. We're drinking beer. I'm drinking with the young kids. They know Coach O. When I walk in the building, they say, that's the Coach O 2019 undefeated, the champion. I want to have a beer with the champion. Them girls half my age. Don't matter to me. We have fun no matter what. Oh, man. You guys are trying to kill my voice 11 minutes in. 11 minutes in. All right, let's look at a couple of these chats, and then we'll go back. I got a couple more calls. Let's do this. We got a caller that I don't recognize. It's been a long, long time. Let's see what's up. March was the last time they called. 404. What's going on? Welcome to the show on a Friday.
Hey, good morning, John. How you doing?
Good. What's going on? Welcome, man. March 5th. It's been a while. There's been a lot that's happened between now and then. What's on your mind?
Well, hold 1 second for me.
Sure.
As high as we are on the program right now, I'm really low on where Notre Dame stands within college football.
Ooh, okay.
Really
that's it. Walk that out for me. That's interesting with the announcement of the new playoff format. Notre Dame eligible for a bye. This is interesting. Walk me through your thinking on this.
Well, I think that with where the SEC's going, they have 9 scheduled conference games. Then along, if they contractually agree to play the Big Ten on that 10th conference game, I don't see where we're getting a schedule from unless it's the ACC or the Big 12.
See, now you're on to something. And I think I did a Patreon video about that the other day. Isn't that the worst case scenario? And follow me here. I'm with you on how this could get dangerous real quick. So here would be the path. Tell me if this is what you're thinking as well. You already have the USC drama about them not renewing this series or whatever. Would them doing that be the first domino that falls? And then those SEC teams that are coming up, Alabama, Florida, whatever, are they going to say, well, if USC's not even going to play them every year and it's their rival, why are we going to schedule a game we could lose out of conference too? Who needs that? So then if they back off the schedule, then Notre Dame's really backed into a corner. So that would be the fear here, is that USC doesn't renew, and that's the first domino that starts that. And then where does that leave Notre Dame? Is that where your mind's at?
Well, I don't even think it hinges on USC. I mean, if an SEC team's going to play 9 conference games out of their 12, let's say, for instance, Georgia, they play 9 conference games. Okay. Now they play the Big Ten.
Yep.
And then they play their rival, Georgia Tech. That's 11 games.
Yep. Yeah.
Same with Purdue. I mean, well, with Purdue, you got the rival with IU, so that would be included in the Big Ten. Same with Michigan, Ohio State, and that. But no, I can see where it could get very dicey for Notre Dame to have any type of decent schedule unless Florida State gets good again, and Miami seems like they may be on the upswing. But
yeah, and then you're going to have you're going to have Clemson, right? You're going to have the 12-year guaranteed thing with Clemson, so you could bank that in there. So if we ran this out and this happened and Notre Dame got backed into a corner, and I'm especially looking at 29 because 29 is a particularly interesting loaded Notre Dame schedule. That's where my reference comes from, of looking at Florida, Texas, Alabama. Like, what if all of them say we don't need this game? Why do that? What should Notre Dame do then? Do you patchwork a schedule together with the Big 12 or whatever? Do you try and make an addendum to your ACC deal? I don't think Notre Dame wants to join them full time, but do you grab a couple more games from there? Or is that the point where you go, you know what? We're swimming upstream, join the Big Ten, bite the bullet, and then do that? Like, what would Notre Dame do that? What would you want them to do?
Well, my understanding is as long as they are in the ACC with their other sports, if they join a conference in football, it has to be the ACC.
Man, well, wait a second.
So that kind of limits them.
Well, wait
in that scenario.
Wait, what? I want to know, what is the status of that deal with the ACC Notre Dame has? Could they just drop out of it without penalty and then be like, we're joining the Big Ten? Because Pete Pavak was not going to allow Notre Dame to join the ACC full time and jump in a dying conference with a horrible TV deal. Pavak was too smart for that. He comes from the world of TV. He's not going to do that because why would you sign up for a death spiral? Like, so that's not going to, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know what the arrangements are. That's just what I've heard. And I'm not sure if I heard that from John Bryce or if it was just something I read, and you know how rumors get started. So I don't know 100%, although it does make sense that the ACC would have said, hey, we'll take all your sports, but if you decide to join a conference in football, you got to come here.
Well, okay, but why couldn't you just be like, well, all of our sports will be plenty healthy in the Big Ten? Like, why? I'm just wondering what that penalty would be if you just pulled, you could pull that rug out and be like, we're joining the Big Ten in every sport and it'll be healthy.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what it is either. It's just another wrench in the puzzle.
Yeah, but I'm with you though. When I think of the worst case scenario, that's what it would be. And I do see USC as the edge of that spear starting it all. And then if those SEC teams that make up some of these schedules, if they start dropping off, you're getting backed into a corner, man. You're getting backed into a corner.
Oh yeah.
But you got to believe Pavak was smart enough to have thought this all through. It is his job to know where we're at now, position us now for financial and CFP success, but also remain nimble and flexible enough to be able to move or do something and pivot if we need to. You got to believe that he's got a plan for this if you need it, right? I would like to think so. That's part of his job. Think of all scenarios, including the worst.
I would like to think so as well. And something else that I have heard from other callers whenever the USC thing was going down about, well, we can drop them and we'll pick up someone else on that weekend of Thanksgiving. Well, it's my understanding that Notre Dame does not want to play at home Thanksgiving weekend because the school's closed. They have no students. The weather's crappy. It's Thanksgiving weekend. How many people are going to travel to South Bend?
Yeah.
So having said that, who are they going to play that doesn't already have a rival game that weekend?
Yeah. Listen, man, these are fair concerns. They're things that I've thought about. I got to believe Pete Pavak has an angle and that he is not going to let Notre Dame dangle in the twist in the wind without a home or a solid way to put together a schedule. But the path that you're bringing up is pretty. I mean, I could see it happening. You're not getting wild here. I mean, I could definitely see that happening. And then what does Notre Dame do? It's a legitimate concern. Right now, it looks like you're fine and you're a big winner in the change of those CFP rulings. But I'm with you, man. It is a concern.
Yeah. On a lighter note, I guess, or I should say more of an immediate future, I didn't know if you had any info on what was going on with the quarterbacks, particularly mentioned CJ. I had heard it was right before spring training or shortly thereafter that CJ was becoming more involved with hanging out with linemen and that sort of stuff. And typically you see something around now of a quarterback hosting people and that kind of stuff, receivers and all that. Now, granted, we don't have a clear-cut starter like we did last year with Leonard. But have you heard anything as far as any type of leadership skills or attributes that they've been showing around the team? Either one of them.
If you want to, that's a really good question. I don't know if you call this leadership or being really, really smart because you're from a football family, but I did hear a lot about Carr hanging out with the starting linemen, like that kind of thing of like, and it's like, okay, where is this headed? Like, that's a smart boy, like the potential quarterback getting buddy with the starting O-line. Here's the deal. I think you have differing personalities. Kenny Minchie is way more reserved, calm, quiet, not like the rah-rah yell type, got like way more. That's my understanding, is that he's a little more like reserved personality-wise, and Carr's a little more gregarious, and then he's doing the smart things, hanging out with like the starting O-linemen and things like that. But there's no doubt about it. Kenny Minchie is kind of like quiet, calm, cool, not very boisterous. That's just kind of his way.
And last, I'd like to leave you with this. And now this is just me as of this date, and obviously it will change. And I know everybody's high on Notre Dame and their talent, which I am as well. But I'm thinking somewhere around 10-2 for them this year.
Yeah, if that's really interesting.
What game are they going to lose? I have no idea. My concern at this point is the amount of leadership we've lost off this team. Will new leaders emerge? Hopefully so. We don't know that. And not having Watts or, the linebacker that was there that escapes my name, or his name escapes me at the moment.
You don't think that there's like that this program's in a good enough shape where like leaders will emerge and you have confidence that this thing's kind of over the hump and a new set of leadership will emerge? Is it Kaiser you're thinking of maybe? I don't know. But like, I mean, I guess quarterback's a big deal. That's a default leader. Quarterback's a default leader of your team, and we just don't know what we have there yet, and there could be a learning curve. But man, I would like to think that just the culture of this program's in a really solid place, that some leaders will naturally emerge and take the reins. That's my hope anyways.
I have that same hope. When people are throwing out leaders right now, they're throwing out people like Greathouse. And I'm not discounting that they can't be great leaders. That's not my point. They're throwing out Greathouse, Bowen, Schuler. All these guys are not seniors. The people that I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's concerning. I don't know how Drake Bowen's going to react to a loss to NIU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all that uncertainty is what has me with that record. Can they win them all? Absolutely. Do I think they can win them all? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just got a bad the leadership thing is a concern that I don't think many people have touched on.
Yeah, I have thought through these things. I think they're good summer concerns to have. I just want to hope we're beyond some of this. I don't know, man. And you're going to get answers early. That's the good news. Whether it's going to be good or bad answers, you're going to get answers early with the first two games on this schedule. You're going to find out.
Absolutely. Which is a good thing. So my concern is at least in that sense, say we go to Miami and Carson Beck's not worth a crap, which I don't expect him to be the first game of the season. And well, you know how it is. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad either.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, we're going to be on the highest high or the lowest low.
Yep.
Until the next game against A&M, which you got a week to ponder one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. That in-between week's going to be a big deal for the program, whether you need to not read your own press clippings that you're winning the Super Bowl and keep it level-headed, or dig out of a hole where everybody's negative and you got all the pressure in the world to not start 0-2. That in-between week is going to be a big deal.
Now, was Marcus Freeman supposed to be meeting with the media yesterday?
Marcus Freeman had a off-the-record private little Q&A media session yesterday with the local Legacy Beat media. And I got some reports from that meeting and some things that make me laugh that aren't surprising at all about how that went with our media. And I can't divulge it all, but some things are exactly how you imagine they would go in that scenario. And it made me laugh yesterday. So yes, he did a little media scrum with the legacy guys, kind of like off the record, off the cameras, I think, and talked about some things. Yep, that happened.
And one last question I have for you, because I'm not sold on this yet, and then I'll let you go, is Malachi Fields. I wanted to get your thoughts. I mean, when these players come in and they put on a Notre Dame uniform, things change for them. I'm sorry. And are they going to rise to the cream of the crop, or are they going to fold like a suitcase? And a lot of people bring back, oh, well, look what he did against Notre Dame. Well, yeah, but one of those passes, it was what, 35, 38 yards of his 80-yard. It was a drop ball.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they just didn't review it.
So here's the thing with Fields. Here's where I'm at. Physically, Goolsby likens him to like a Brandon Marshall with the like Cutler and Marshall at the Bears kind of guy. Not like a burner, but like can position his body in good shape to go up and get it and that kind of thing. And so there's some excitement there with a little bit of a unique, bigger body type guy. However, Goolsby says to me every week, I have a little anxiety about the expectations here because Goolsby does not respect the ACC competition at all. He does not respect that conference. He does not think they play good ball. He pulled up all of the recent like draft picks coming out of the ACC and where they were coming from out of the ACC, what position. He's saying, I don't believe numbers put up against the ACC. So you got to kind of temper your expectations till you see what it looks like, because he does not buy into that competition level. So I don't know where that leaves us.
I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Yeah, that's his honest to God thought. Dude, he will not, he is relentless with that. He keeps saying, John, I do not trust any numbers put up against the ACC. So that's, we're going to have to wait and see.
Well, he was justified that, I guess, with Hartman too.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're gonna see how it goes. However, like in some ways though, beggars can't be choosers, man. Like I'm sorry, like we need receiver help and guys that can flash. So like throw some money at a guy for 1 year and see what he could do. It's a pretty low risk, high reward situation, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. Again, I appreciate you taking the call. And I hope you have a great weekend along with everybody listening and in the chat.
Hey, have a good one, man. Take it easy. Thanks for the call. Call me again. Don't wait a few months next time. Oh, boy. Ronald says, John, I could have told you that about the ACC. Well, excuse me that I would rather hear it from the captain who played at Notre Dame and have his opinion over the guy that runs the fry machine at the local McDonald's, bro. You guys are coming from little slightly different lanes of credibility there. One of you's fixing the ice cream machine and the other one was a captain in Notre Dame. I'm sorry. And dude, it always pisses me off when people are, why are we the way that we are? Let's just say that. We'll go back to the calls. I got another 404 and 415. I always try and build you out a little more time. So shape it in so you can stretch your legs a little. Shalom. Change the narrative. Instead of ND needs to join a conference, encourage other big name programs to go independent. Let's game, still buy eligible, keep more money for yourself. I've said it all the time. I say it all the time. Whenever these people yell about Notre Dame's independence and why are they independent and all that kind of stuff, and like, why is this allowed? They're the outlier. They kick them out of the playoff, whatever. No one ever brings up the fact that independence is an option for everyone. Why? I don't understand why that's never brought up. If it's so easy as an independent and it's just so much of an easier path compared to everyone else, and there's so many advantages, and it's just not fair, whatever. Why don't other teams do it? I don't understand why people act like independence is exclusively reserved for like Notre Dame. Everybody could be independent. And if it's that easy and you believe in your program that much, anybody could go independent. Now you get into, well, I don't know if we could get a TV deal, and I don't know if we have a brand big enough to carry being independent country, across the country. And then how are you going to build the schedule? And like, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Well, guess what? It's called Not My Problem. It's called Not My Problem. And it's like, well, that's not fair because Notre Dame would be able to do that and nobody else would or whatever. Hashtag Not My Problem. Bro, life is not fair. Football is not fair. Some people are always going to have more resources than you or a bigger brand than you or whatever. Okay? So I just, that's my pushback. When everybody says, oh, it's such an easier path. Well, then why doesn't your team do it? LSU people ripping Notre Dame about independence. I've seen some of those videos. Well, why doesn't LSU go independent then? And then you'll be in the same spot we are. Go do whatever you want to do. Go do whatever you want to do. You could be independent too. But if you can't do it because you don't have the brand width or the money or the reach or a TV angle or whatever, that is not my problem. Life is not fair. Football's not fair, man. I'm sorry. Just it's the way of the world. Football and life, man. You look down the street, somebody's got a bigger house, a better car, and a better looking wife, bro. That's just the way life goes. So anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. So whatever. Ronald McDonald, I'm going to tell you this right now. I would love to know who you are behind your avatar, but I guarantee you one thing. You would never go to a tailgate and walk up to Mike Goolsby and say the things you type in this box to his face. You wouldn't. Everybody gets ballsy when you're behind a random logo on the internet. Anytime you take a shot at him or whatever, he's has been, the teams weren't good or whatever, bro. It's just, this is the modern world. This is the modern world. You would never say any of the things you type in here to the guy's face. You know you wouldn't. You know you wouldn't. But when you got that wig on, it's real easy to type stuff in the box. When you it's an alter ego, man. Once you put the wig on and you put the lipstick on, you can let it rip. You can let it rip. Oh man. God, that's funny. 404, what's going on? We got 2 Atlantas in a row. What's going on, 404?
Johnny, happy Friday, dude. What's going on?
Not much, man. That's interesting. I got 2 Atlanta of area 404s in a row here on a Friday. What's on your mind, my friend? Thanks for jumping in.
I had a few random questions. I was like, what can we do to kill some time on a pre-summer Friday? One was like if we were able, like, let's say just for the war game of it, we got backed into the ACC. I think if we had to join a conference, we'd probably all say join Big Ten, got all the rivals there.
Yeah.
But what if we went to the ACC and we had, somehow the leverage to pick, 3 or 4 other teams to get pulled into that with us? And so, if you were like you're customizing conferences on the video game or something, right? It probably never happened, but why not? It's like, oh, well, let's say you couldn't pick Alabama and Georgia. You had to leave them alone. And you couldn't pick, I don't know, Ohio State and Michigan because it's just complete Big Ten teams, right? What would be the 3 or 4 teams that come to mind that's like, you know what? If we got sucked into that, oh, well, we have Miami and Florida State. Hopefully they rebound, that kind of thing. What would be some other teams that would actually make the ACC interesting?
Dude, I'm going to struggle with this. And the reason I'm going to struggle with it is no one's dumb enough to join the ACC. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, no one should be. I can't even allow myself to do the exercise because no one's going to join the ACC if they can help it. Why would you? No SEC team would do it. No Big Ten team would do it. It's a conference circling the drain with major instability right now. No one should want to do it. I don't even know how you go about. How would you even entice somebody to get into a conference where half the members sued to try and get out and your TV deal is locked in and horrible and the quality of play has gone down and the draft picks from the conference have gone down? Who's going to go there and why?
That's very fair. Yeah, that is a fair point. Like, man, you would have to just essentially turn it into an SEC Big Ten hybrid to even save it remotely. But how about this? Because I know this will get you off on a tangent. What would you say are the top 5 most delusional fan bases in college football? I've experienced. I was not able to catch up on the show. I listened to Wednesday's show this morning. I was cracking up at the LSU portion because I've actually experienced that firsthand.
Ding, 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 ding.
Kelly went over there. Did I my audio cut out or something?
Nope. You hit my number one. Okay. You hit my number one option, baby.
There we go.
It is. And the interesting thing, man, is I never, ever, ever really had anything against LSU ever. I thought it was a really unique, cool football culture in an interesting part of the country. I thought it was a cool brand and like they have their own vibe about them. It's life's a little different down there. And I liked all that. And then the second that things flipped and Kelly went there and I saw how the LSU people were spinning it, it's been a different dynamic ever since. And so it's tough for me to watch, man. Every angle to carry water for Kelly, anything to put Notre Dame now, anything to find an excuse to build Kelly another year where he could not win anything and they still support him. It's driving me nuts.
Agreed. Yeah. I had, I guess,
you had USC. You have USC on the list. How like Johnny come lately, LA style, and then like they come and go, and then poof, they're gone. Like I don't even know if they're consistent enough to even count in our discussion.
Yeah, and that was not to off track. I think I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was West Palm Pat. It was somebody made the comment the other day about ditching the Navy game or making it once every other year, every 5 years or something. But yeah, that's one anyway. I'm losing focus there. So I would say other than LSU, USC, Michigan's got to be up there with just complete derangement syndrome. I don't know, man. It's just it's interesting how just being independent can piss people off so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we are. So,
yep. What else is on your mind? Dude, it's never the independent thing always cracks me up. People lose their mind. And you know what I ask? Here's the question that I ask. When I see these like YouTubers that cover other teams doing what I do, and they lose their mind about Notre Dame independence and why are they eligible for a bye and all this? They don't have to play in a conference championship, all this stuff. Here's my question. Who are you really mad at? Right? Like Notre Dame takes all that heat. Shouldn't you be mad at the people that allow Notre Dame to have these perceived benefits you don't think they should have? Like, don't be mad at us for accepting things people offer us that make sense. Be mad at everybody else in the room with Bavacqua that agreed to let Notre Dame maybe have a bye. Be mad at them. Don't be mad at us for accepting things offered to us by the powers that be. The anger's always misdirected. We're not going to give up everything and fold independence if it's working out. So be mad at everybody else that's allowing Notre Dame to do all this. Don't be mad at us. It's misdirected rage.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like you could make a compelling argument to join the Big Ten, but because they're all so just butthurt about it all the time, like I want to stay independent just for the sake of continuing to irritate everybody. And plus we get all the added advantages. But what else was on your list? You had a big list of a bunch of surprising things. Your Notre Dame brain's way more interesting when coming up with topics than mine. So curious if you have one you want to cherry pick real quick.
Yeah, man. Like here's one. This is very, very basic. I'll give you number one on my list of things that would surprise me. I'd be surprised if Notre Dame went undefeated. I just would. And it's not like I don't believe in the team or whatever. The math is simply against anyone going undefeated. It's hard to do, even if you have a good team and a easy schedule. I would be surprised if Notre Dame went undefeated. Regardless of who you are, who your schedule it is hard to do. and then you add in a new starting quarterback for Notre Dame, I think it's going to be a tough road. I'm not saying Notre Dame's not a playoff team, but I would be surprised if Notre Dame went undefeated. And I'm not taking a shot at the team I cover. It's statistically really hard to do. You have a tougher front half of the schedule, and you're breaking in a new quarterback. So I just think it'd be a surprise to me if they did that. That's my first one.
I still just don't know if I see 2 losses on the schedule. It's like, yes, we could very well go 0-2 the first couple weeks. I think there's something to be said for the off season, having all summer to catalyze your focus on, we have this huge game. It's not like, oh, well, you can kind of take some shortcuts with your prep here and there because, we got some just St. Captain School for the Blind or something that week 1 that we'll get our act together then. There is something I think to be said for having something that'll really, give you those pregame jitters all summer long. So I think we take care of business in Miami. Yeah, it would be ironic for the week 2 because that was last year's, of course, but I still think we take care of business against A&M. And, maybe there's a random clunker, whether it's Boise State sneaks up on us or something. I still don't see 2, John. I just don't see, and I don't even see teams sneaking up on us this year. I think that's still such a raw emotion from last year, losing to that stupid team in red. I just don't see the senior class or even the junior leaders like Drake Bowen there. I just don't see guys like that letting a game against a Patsy leave a mark on their Notre Dame legacy. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, you would hope there have been some tough lessons learned with that dynamic, and you would hope that Freeman's learned how to sidestep those moving forward. So yeah, man, but this is an interesting year. Notre Dame's got to try and prove they were not a one and done, one lucky run and now back to 9-3 or whatever. I believe the over under I saw like on DraftKings and all that was, I think it was 10.5. And that's right where I'd put it too. Are you dropping down to 10-2 or can you be 11-1 or better? I would literally 10.5 is the most perfect number. If I was a bookmaker, that's where I'd have it.
Yeah. But tell you what, man, if we get if we get 90% of the playoff version of Jaden Greathouse and Faison plus some other guys stepping up, I mean, I think we're, I don't know, speaking of delusion, it's like here we are again being like, oh, this will be the year the wide receivers step up. So, yeah, if there's anything that we can make fun of ourselves for, probably that. But I think that'll be where it needs to be. And I'll leave you with this. Is maybe it's just me talking myself into it a little bit, but for whatever reason, we seem to have pretty good luck with first-year quarterbacks, and then they kind of regress. But hey, Tommy Reese and Kelly aren't here anymore, so maybe whether it's Carr or CJ, Carr or Vinci rather, they'll actually progress as they have more starts under their belt. But I don't really have the whole new quarterback anxiety. I think the way some of the fan base does. I think either of those guys are going to do their thing, and we have the system around them to support them. I mean, if they're ever, and you've said this, it's a little borderline redundant. If there's ever a year to break in a quarterback, this is the year to do it. So I think we should take some relative peace in that as well.
Yeah, man, it's this is going to be a really, really interesting year with some new dynamics for Notre Dame. I can't wait to get to August and get it all fired up again. And we'll find out if this team is a perennial playoff contender or if it's a pretender who had one good year and it all clicks. So we're about to find out, my friend. Hey, thanks for giving me a call on a Friday. Hope you have a good weekend.
You as well, sir. Take it easy.
Have a good one. Couple good callers. 415-757 coming up. Ron, why are you being mean to our people? How dare you insult Mark with Glasses work? How dare you? That work is cinema classic. A+, 10 out of 10 every time, a home run. You will not talk down to Mark with Glasses. All right, couple super chats and we'll get it and we'll go back to the calls. Blessed morning, Johnny. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Oh, WPP, the educated gangster. I like it. Domer, whoop! $5 hour. The caller is correct, except ND could buy out of the deal and pay a penalty. Also note it's a fraction of the cost to the full members to do it. It comes down to money. If you are truly backed into that corner, you just pay the money to get out of the ACC and join the Big Ten. Pete Bavacqua is much too smart to get into bed full on with the ACC. It's a bad business idea, and everybody can see it a mile away. All right? So that's just not going to happen. So whatever that money is and the penalty is, it's worth paying it, and then you get in the Big Ten and everything's fine. That's what would happen. Forget joining the ACC full-time. It ain't going to happen. If it does, I'm going to lose my mind. $5 olive from the dong. Would we still make the playoff if we went 10-2, but the 2 losses were Purdue and Stanford? I don't know. Because here's what bothers me. What bothers me is you have the, they always say like strength of schedule, and we're going to look at who played who, and we're going to measure the strength of the record and the strength of the schedule, whatever. I hear all of this talk from the power people or the committee chair, the dork that gets on ESPN and Reese asks him questions and he gets his pre-approved bullet point answers, kind of like a politician would. The problem is they do all this talk about strength of schedule and all this stuff. In the end, it feels like it comes down to me as loss prevention. And you're just looking at a record and you just don't want, and you know what I'm saying? I hear all this talk about that strength that we are playing. I ultimately think it comes down to the amount of losses you have. I'm yet to see anybody really nail a team and go, yeah, you're 11-1, but you didn't play anybody. You're bumped down to whatever. Like, I see them talk about that much more than I see them actually use that as a metric they're gauging. That's what I'm saying. Sly. John doesn't. Sly, did you ever? I laughed about this the other day, Sly. I was going through some old stuff, cutting up YouTube shorts. Did you ever tell your wife what I said about her name? I don't know whether that's going to go good or bad, or if she'll be like insulted or complimented, but did you ever tell her what I said? Because it's pretty funny. I hope you remember what I'm referencing, by the way. John doesn't deal with the other fans. He doesn't go to the games. I'm going to say this as directly and honestly and truthfully as I can. Yeah, she loved it. Yeah, it is. It's a great compliment. It really is. I have zero interest in going to road games or bowl games. None. Zero. None. I am already worked up enough with all of this shit. The last thing that I need is to put myself in a position with 80,000 people that hate me and my way of life, and I hate them. And I have all the Notre Dame stress already and all of my hatred for everybody that isn't us. And then you want me to walk in a building and just play nice with 80,000 people that hate my way of life? No. Why put myself in that position? Now, you could tell me that's weak. You could say, get over it. You know, you're scared to go into enemy territory. You can say whatever you want. I'm 40 years old, and I know the dynamics that would cause me a problem. I'll probably run my mouth to somebody somewhere. I have trouble at home games, just keeping my mouth shut and letting people walk by. All right? I have trouble with that. So I don't need that extra aggravation. And everywhere I look, I see the enemy. You go to Notre Dame and I walk around every single time a group of fans with the other stuff walk by. I just don't like anybody that's not us. I have no interest in going. Take a chill pill. Dodger, buddy, you ain't new around here, bro. You're not new around here. You know that I don't have a chill pill. And when it comes to this Notre Dame stuff, I don't. And you could say maybe that's a personality flaw. You could say I'm scared or that's a weak mentality. We need more Notre Dame fans to go to these games. Go for it if that's your thing. I have no interest. None. I just don't. I don't even just like being on campus, like that stupid playoff game. And everywhere I see them stupid clown Ronald McDonald stripe pant Indiana people walking all over. Get off our campus. John, that is strange. You were missing one of the best parts. Well, wouldn't be one of the best to me. What? I don't like all of those people. It's just a bad dynamic for me. I have no interest. None. Zero. Just go to a stress-free game like Marshall or NIU. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Very, very funny. That's a good one. 415. What's going on in California?
Good morning, Johnny. How we doing, boss?
I'm doing well. Now that I'm talking to someone in the state of California, it actually makes me think maybe I should go to some USC games because I can have full sections alone without seeing the enemy. Maybe I could just do that.
Well, I would do that with you.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. That's the way it is at the Stanford games every single time. You know, it's like you have this huge contingency of Notre Dame fans. And if you want to talk about like a weak fan base as far as like you're not going to catch any kind of, anything from an opposite team effect is the fact that Stanford's fans are very mellow. So if you ever came out here to Palo Alto, you could literally go in there and have zero issues.
Dude, I kind of feel like if I go out there to Palo Alto and go to one of those games, I feel like there's going to be an IQ test at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Notre Dame, Stanford, and then I'm walking in there. I feel like they're going to give you an IQ test at the door. They're going to be like, John, come on, bro. You ain't getting in here. That's what I picture, man. It's honestly kind of sad how far they've fallen off, man. Like, I don't want them to be good enough that they're beating Notre Dame, but the fact that they're just totally garbage is honestly a little sad. Jeez. Because at least they value academics, and I value that in football with Notre Dame. So, like, I wouldn't mind seeing them not be terrible. Like, I don't want them to beat us, but they shouldn't be this bad.
No, I mean, dude, Estime the other year, he was running, like, for touchdown after touchdown. I mean, we were at that game sitting there, and there might have been 20,000 fans, and 17,000 of them were Notre Dame fans. And it was just like, what happened here, And back from the Christian McCaffrey days, or Andrew Luck, obviously, who now is I believe he's the AD of Stanford. And
yeah.
He's taking over. So maybe they'll try to switch it around, but it's just not a perennial football school. It's not that in that town, just like a lot of the smaller schools out here, they don't have that kind of, it factor in the history, the way that like something like in South Bend or, in Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, like it's just not there at all. And it never will be like that at all. They might have some years where they're, kicking tail and making it into the Rose Bowl or playoffs or whatever, but it's going to be few and far between.
Somebody brought up, they said, John, would you still have a problem if you went to like the Navy game or something? No, I wouldn't fight any active or training military people that are training to defend our country. But I also would never go to a Navy game on purpose because it's my least favorite game to watch every year. Yep. I just don't like the gameplay. It causes me anxiety, and I don't like it. So I wouldn't want to make a trip just for that either. So you guys, I am weird. I am not normal. I know that, but everybody just deal with it. Like I'm just telling you, not a good dynamic. Adam Dowling, he was at the playoff game in Miami against Penn State. He's saying his wife was holding him back. These Penn State guys were trying to get at him, and he almost fought him and this and that. I don't need that extra anxiety. I don't need those problems. I'm already worked up enough in my stupid basement.
Love it. Well, hey, a couple things I got for you. First of all, Wednesday's show was that was just so killer. It was awesome. And I'm actually really glad that WPP came on because I think it made it where we could understand each other a little bit better. I think, I did a little bit of reflecting myself, and it was just like, this is just a guy he's been through it. He's been through it. He's a little older than us. He's probably been through a little bit more of the, unfortunate downsides of Notre Dame, throughout the seasons. And it's just been a long stretch, since '88 for most people. And he's fed up and he's tired, and he's obviously got his his anger stuff going on as well. And you put it all together and it's this explosion, but I understand, like he is a Notre Dame fan. He deals with it differently than some of us, and everybody's going to internalize it one way or the other. And so, you know what, just as long as he can keep living,
dude,
what do you got? You're laughing.
Just the way he snapped. The way he snapped was immensely entertaining, but the way that he the self-recognition of the snapping and then him realizing it was time to hang up and go away. Like, I appreciated the self-awareness level that he had enough to know that he was like getting out of line to where he was comfortable. And then he was like, I gotta go. I gotta let this go.
Yeah.
Everything about that was immensely entertaining to me. I loved it, man. I just love the energy. We're in late May, and anytime you could get that kind of emotion about like this kind of stuff when we're that far out from the season, I love it. That's what this place is for.
Definitely. Completely agree. All right. So down to the Notre Dame business. So from what I understood in my little research here was that the ACC, as far as like our scheduling with the ACC and what that looks like, because of the 12-year agreement that we have with Clemson, they also extended the ACC agreement for 12 years. So we're looking up until 2037 now that we have this agreement where we would play them at least 5 of their schools. So, and on a number of the schedules, we already have 6 and even 7, I think, in 1 year. And so if you look at where that's going as far as like how it relates to the Big Ten and the SEC, and if they were to squeeze this out, or what if Alabama, Texas, and some of these other schools backed out, I don't think we'd have a problem of plugging in teams by any chance. I think that will happen. But I think what will happen is obviously there'd be a drop off in the level of competition or excitement, of what that matchup would look like. Right. So that's one aspect to kind of look at it.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know where this is all heading. Nobody could see the future. That's why I keep saying with this, Bavakwa, it's so important that he tactfully navigate these rocky seas to keep Notre Dame viable financially and playoff wise now. Do what you need to do to accomplish that. But while always looking down the road and like a pivot here, a pivot there, if we need this, we could do that. Like, his job is to get ahead and think these things through so that if you end up backed into a corner, you have your pivots. Notre Dame's always going to find a healthy home. I am a firm believer in that. Notre Dame is one of those brands. They will find a healthy home regardless of what goes on. So that's a tough line to walk for Bavakwa, man. You got to stay current, stay relevant, but also maintain the flexibility to be able to pivot if we need to and we're backed against the wall. Bavak was the right guy for this mission at the right time. He's got the NBC experience. He's a Notre Dame guy. He totally gets it. I have trust in him to navigate us. And so far, so good with whatever. The money we were worried about with the playoff, the TV stuff, the CFP, so far, so good.
Yeah, completely. And I don't think there's a chance that we would ever join a conference, at least in the near 5 to 10 years.
Don't need to.
As this is all
Don't
evolving.
need to. Don't need to. Don't need to. It's starting to piss me off, Adam. Adam, it's starting to piss me off on Twitter. All these people on Twitter, all these people about this Notre Dame playoff thing in the bye. They just respond, join a conference, like it's a smart ass thing to say, join a conference, join it. And I just say, why? Why? Well, I don't need to. Why? Just because you want me to? There's no impetus. We don't need to.
I know. I completely agree. So here's another contract for you. We have a contract with NBC, right? So this is our TV contract that ends in 4 years after the 2029 season. And right now we're getting paid $50 million a year, plus an additional $17 million that we would receive from the ACC for the games that we're doing with them. So you're making $67 million a year to be an independent, on top of the fact that you go to the playoffs and you make a run like we did last year, you're banking all that $20 million. Plus, I think there was something, I heard a report that there was a $3 million per team for traveling expenses that was like given to them through the playoff system or something. I mean, there's so much cash that is being floated this way. And then if you were to compare that, right, compare that $67 million a year to what Clemson is getting for their TV rights. How much do you think each school is getting per year?
Well,
If you had to guess,
I don't know, but I do know that
it's
moving
$17 million.
But all right,
I mean,
now, but how does it? But wait,
crazy.
Tell me if I'm wrong that I remember this. Am I wrong to remember that the ACC altered their TV payout pie to where now the teams in the ACC that draw bigger TV numbers will get a bigger piece of that TV revenue? I believe that is a concession the ACC made to try and have their top teams, and there's only a couple or a few brand names there, mainly Clemson, Miami, and Florida State are the only needle movers, to keep them kind of happy, right?
That is not unique to ACC. That is something that is happening in all the Power Four right now. Because
Wait. Is it real? I didn't realize that. The Big Ten's like that too. Rutgers gets way less than Ohio State and Michigan. Is that the way they're set up too?
They're not set up that way right now. What they're trying to do is push it to that way. And that's what I was referring to with the next like 5 to 6 years of all the differences that are going to be coming up and all the changes that are going to be coming up. It is even on that level as far as like payouts from not just TV contracts, but also the college football playoff payouts themselves. So that imagine if Ohio State makes it, but nobody else does, but then everybody gets a fair share. And then Ohio State's saying, well, is that fair to us that we're paying Rutgers or whoever it is? So there's just a lot of talk right now about how they're going to divvy out the cash, depending on whether it's TV rights or this or that. Nothing is ironclad. Nothing is set in stone. But the rumorville out there, in which if there's smoke, there's fire, I'll tell you right now that there is a big push for that, especially in the bigger three. I don't know about the Big 12 so much, but in the SEC, Big 10, and ACC, guaranteed they're talking about that.
Yeah, it's a changing world. And it's just the cycle of all this cracks me up too, because there's like all these rumors, then there's a change. And then right when everybody starts to adjust to the new arrangement, then they'd go to another arrangement and it all changes anyways. So we're going to have this year of the straight seeding. And then what do you want to bet? That's when they're going to go, oh, now we're going to 16. And then they go in the meeting room and then the Big 10 and SEC say, all right, we're going to 16. I want 8 guaranteed spots from one conference and 8 from the other. There's your 16. Isn't everybody happy? Son of a buck on the seeding.
There's not a chance. I know that's like doomsday and like, worst case scenario type of thing of like, okay, but now you're talking about that the college football playoff committee, like all these people that are in charge are going to literally say, you're right, Big 12, ACC, the remaining 2 teams in the Pac-12, and everybody else, good luck. You can't get in. This is only an SEC and Big 10 thing. That would kill the sport.
Yeah.
It would kill the sport.
Yeah. Now,
that it would be the most ridiculous kind of like negotiating. There is no negotiating. You're going in, you're being bullish. I don't see that happening one iota. Yeah. I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to have the Big 10 and the SEC sit there, and they're going to get their 4 auto bids, and they're going to have. They'll probably stick with the 9 conference games because of the fact that the ADs and of each school all want that, and the commissioner is probably backing it. And then they're going to move forward, and the ACC is not going to implode. Everybody's talking a big game that they want to leave. Where are you going to leave to? Yeah. If you're Florida State or Miami, why would you leave the ACC and go, or Clemson, and go to the Big 10 or go to the SEC unless you are all in cahoots? And that's what you're going to do, is you're going to dissolve the ACC altogether. And then you're just like they did the Pac-12. You're going to get absorbed into the two big boys. Yeah. And then the next is the Big 12 because they have no other choice.
Yeah.
But that'd be ruining college football in my mind.
Like the way I see it is the Big Ten and the SEC clearly are the two leaders of the pack, power players, negotiating wise, team power wise, like the brands they each have in their conferences, whatever. It would take a lot for them to willingly undo the grip on power they perceive or practically believe they have right now. Like when people are like, when are they going to go to the AFC, NFC with these two big half the country things or whatever? All I'm saying is the money must be really, really good for the SEC or the Big Ten leadership to be willing to give up the arrangement they believe they have and what's coming.
Yeah.
I got to give Lane Kiffin credit. I saw SEC Media Days or whatever, and I saw some clips. I believe Lane Kiffin was going, they're like, what format do you think? And he goes, you could go to 16. And then they're like, how do you see that? And he goes, it's pretty easy to me. You go 1 through 16. Yeah. That's it. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You do 16 and you're ranked 1 through 16 and you are therefore seeded 1 through 16 and we play it out. Very direct. There's no complicated math. You are where you rank and you rank where you are.
And I totally agree with him. And the other thing that I agreed with him, he actually was the most spot on out of all the coach interviews. The last thing he said was, there's flaws in every system. You're not, and that was my point like 2 weeks ago, was like, you're not going to make every single person 1,000%.
Somebody's going to be slided. Yeah, somebody or some conference.
Even if the ones who win, like technically win, and they're like, yeah, we won. Did we get everything? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay because we got the majority of what we wanted. And that's just the way it is. But there will be certain flaws because even with the straight seeding, there could be some weird scenario where you're like, how did that play out? You know, like how did it end up where it, just like how Oregon ended up playing against Ohio State is like, oh, sorry. You know what I mean? Like that's what you get. You get a first round bye and then you get to play those guys. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. So you're never going to make everybody happy. I just need Notre Dame to have a seat at the table in reasonable circumstances. And we have that right now. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So enjoy this 1 year of whatever this is. And then we'll go to 16 and see what it looks like. Anything else, my friend? I like the, you healing up or what? You going to be out there breaking down some firewalls or what?
Not today. No, today I get to go to the doctor's office and get my knee drained.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
That sounds that doesn't sound like the best the most fun I've ever had, that's for sure.
No, but I will leave you with this. You asked, your question was what would be something that would be surprising about this season coming up?
Yeah, what do you got?
I like your take on well, I love your take on the 12-0 thing because yes, that would be surprising. Just given the new quarterback and just the way the schedule is, heavy front and loaded and all that stuff. But let me give you another take. What about Ash just basically giving full range to like make his changes on the defense? And Freeman's just like, okay, go ahead. You know, like without so much, not necessarily a leash, but with that watchful eye. Like Ash just has more power to just go ahead and revamp it. That to me would be pretty surprising considering the fact of what Ash said in his conference or his what was it in his excuse me, I'm totally blanking. When he first got hired and he was talking to everybody, he was sitting there saying, or his news conference, he was saying, hey, I'm just here to not like mess it up. I'm here to like just like make it better, enhance it, and move forward. What if there was something on the other end?
Yeah.
That was opposite.
Yep. I do have a note on there about the defense as well. It's one of the things to watch early in the season to see that Ash defense. Yeah. Hey man, go get your brain drained and feel better and have a good weekend and we'll talk to you Monday, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And by the way, John, I'm convinced that Ronald McDonald is somebody you know.
I don't know what to make of it. And there was a while where people were thinking Ronald and Commander were the same guy in different accounts, but they've been going back and forth together, which it would be hard to log out that quick, one comment out of the next. I really think they're two different guys.
Computers. You got two computers.
That's a hell of a lot of effort.
There's another guy sitting in his basement right now. He's got two computers, one with Ronald McDonald on one, and one with Commander Luke on the other, and he's like battling it out, and he's trying to see how you're going to react and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe they're just total trolls, or maybe they are somebody you do know. I don't know.
I don't
Classic.
know. I always do wonder if any of these avatar people whose screen name is not their real name, how many of them I've met at the tailgates, but I have no idea that it's them. And they play it nice and they walk up to me. Oh, John, I watch your stuff. Let's have a beer, whatever. Let's take a picture. I'm wondering how many of these people that troll me half the time that I have no idea who they are that I've met. I think that's funny to think about.
Oh, it's classic. All right, Johnny boy. Well, you have a fantastic show, my friend, and have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next.
Have a good one, man. Feel better. Get that knee drain. I need to get my brain drained. John, you may not know this, but you met me at the tailgate. Oh, I know that for sure. My security. Roger Dodger. I'm forcing John to eat some guacamole to calm down. No. I don't understand guacamole. I don't. Number one is I couldn't think of a more unappealing title for something you want people to eat. Even just the word guacamole sounds gross to me. Kind of sounds like mold at the end, and guac is a weird word. And then I look at it and it looks like barf or boogers. Or barf combined with boogers. I don't understand the appeal. It looks disgusting. It's like green with chunks. I just don't. There's no part of me that's like, I see green slimy chunks. I want to eat that and ruin my chip. Are you out of your mind? Guacamole. I don't think so. It even just sounds like you're going to barf. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. 757, welcome to the show on a Friday. It's a wild one.
Hey, John, how's it going?
It's going.
Hey, I think we got to take a step back with regards to all the complaints or, kind of the hot takes on Notre Dame and its conference affiliation and how, it's more or less fair that the whole we don't have to play a conference championship thing. I just can't help but think, right? Like the Notre Dame hasn't changed what it's doing, right? We have all the 134, whatever it is, FBS1 football teams are all organized, right? Really under the NCAA until that goes away. And so if each of these, the evolution of the sport is such that, the division up to the Power Four, which we are not Power Four, right? We're independent. If the Big 12 or the SEC or whoever, they want to self-impose a conference championship game, that literally has nothing to do with Notre Dame. Like, we should not be like, the default should not be that you're going to be in some sort of collective organization that just gets bigger and bigger, and you have to play a conference championship game, which if the goal is to win a national championship, the conferences are making it harder for their conference members because they can make money from the championship game, et cetera, right? Like, I mean, they feel like it's in their self-interest, they revenue for their own conference at the expense of, if you're going to change the playoff structure and how you get to become a national champion, like, it's not really on Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame has nothing to do with that, right? It's they're saying that it's not fair that Notre Dame doesn't have this extra burden. But the whole reason why these conferences have an extra burden is because they make it so that they have an extra burden. Does that make sense? So I don't know. It's like the starting point should not be what it so happens that the conferences do. At least Notre Dame's perspective. But I mean, we're not in the negotiations, so I don't know what Pete Bavak or whatever is saying. But it's like, we're not trying to determine, like, we don't care who the SEC champion is. Like, we're trying to be national champions. And we can fill out a 12-person or 12-team schedule. And the the playoff selection committee has picked us. So all of this stuff has happened such that we're putting ourselves in a position to compete for a national championship. So, like, I guess all I'm saying is we should not feel guilty. And I think the most ridiculous take was, I think, Klatt, who was saying that Notre Dame should have to play a play-in game against, like, the 5th-ranked SEC or Big Ten, like whoever the kind of the first person out would be. So to make it more fair. But again, I just think it's all ridiculous. I mean,
okay, all right. So let me ask this question. I've been processing this, and then I saw some YouTube guys for other teams going after us about all this last night. I'm trying to take it all in. What do you think is the reason that when Bavacqua entered that meeting room, all those other conference affiliated people in leadership agreed to let Notre Dame be eligible for a bye? Like, this is not trolling. This is not me like doing anything weird. I genuinely spent some time last night thinking, why did all those people play so nice with Notre Dame? What do you think the answer is?
So I think it's two things. Firstly, I would imagine that they think the downside of Notre Dame getting a bye as being one of the top 4 ranked teams, but Arizona State and Boise State, or who was it? Like the 2 black teams that got a bye that shouldn't have, right? That's a better trade-off. So we'll because most seasons, right? Notre Dame's probably not going to be top 4, right? There's probably going to be some combination of other teams. I guess just like on averages, right? Like Notre Dame will be very good some years, but on the whole, we probably have a much higher chance of getting 5 through 12 or 16 or whatever than we do 1 through 4. So it's a worse for them to guarantee that you're going to end up with like an ACC or Big 12 champion gets a bye as opposed to potentially multiple Big 10 or SEC teams. So I mean, that's like the first thing. And then the second thing, it all comes down to money. Like, Notre Dame is still big enough a draw and still carries enough of a stick that what they say matters.
Yep. And the people in that room that value the almighty dollar more than anything else, they may be annoyed with Notre Dame's independent existence and seat at this table, but they still recognize asses in seats, eyeballs on the TV. They know that. They're smart enough to know what that means.
Yep. And I have no illusions either. Like if they thought they could stonewall Notre Dame and make it so that, only members of these conferences can compete for the national championship or whatever, someone's probably trying to do that. The reason it doesn't work is because they don't have enough leverage to make it happen. I don't know. The more this goes on, I am more and more. I don't care if we played the greatest Midwest rivalry schedule of all time. I am not a fan of the freaking Big Ten at all. And I would much rather we go to the darn ACC and make it work and shuffle up all the conferences. But I have hate in my heart, John, and I'm gonna let it out that I'm not feeling the Big Ten at all.
Oh, I like that. I like that reference there. I like that reference. You did it quick, but I got it. You did it. You slid that one in there quick. But if you got hate in your heart, let it out.
I guess the whole thing is like they want the benefits of a conference, right? Which essentially is you raise the floor. You're a poverty freaking program like Rutgers or whatever, or Northwestern, but you get the same money distribution as the people who are actually making the money for you, which is Ohio State. I get their strength in numbers, et cetera, but you can't also, Notre Dame is trying to reap its own rewards too, right? So we have a much lower floor. If we suck and become Stanford and we never make the playoffs and we're washed out and all this stuff, we kind of eat it on our own. There's no one's coming to our rescue. NBC would terminate the contract and then we would be done. But if Rutgers or Vanderbilt sucks forever, they still get their SEC payout.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's got to go both ways. Overall, I would just say we have to, I think it's pretty core. I saw some comments in the chat about overall Notre Dame's legacy is winning, right? So that's the most important thing. But second, I do think it's pretty integral to the identity of the university that we're going to be independent. I think we have to do every last thing we could possibly do to stay independent until, I do think it's going to be on the not too distant horizon where there's some sort of big consolidation of big time college football and not so big time college football. I want Notre Dame to be part of big time college football, but not this freaking Frankenstein monster. And to give up, I would say it for real has to be real bad. Like NBC won't even give us a remotely good contract or whatever to keep going on. It's got to be real bad before we would need to be forced to join a conference. Yeah. And I just pray to goodness that it's not no gosh dang Big Ten.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the most natural fit as far as geographics, as far as academics, as far as rekindling old rivalries. The Big Ten would be it. So I don't know, man. But as of now, I'm a little surprised Notre Dame got what they got. So whatever the people are playing nice enough with us to maybe let you get that bye. So I don't know, man. But I have trust in Bavacqua, man. I do. Bavacqua's not going to let Notre Dame get backed into some corner without a good option. He's just not going to allow it.
Yeah. And I think maybe, it's somewhat of a nuanced thing. Excuse me. But I think some of the other commentators pointed out, the difference between this past year's rule, it wasn't an anti-Notre Dame ruling. as far as like the top 4 ranked conference champions or whatever get the bye. It just so happened that, as a consequence of that, it was, Notre Dame wouldn't be eligible. But it'd be different. And, it's almost like from a negotiating perspective, like, I don't know if it was Warburg or Babakwa who negotiated that piece, but it wasn't like, he wasn't acceding to a specifically anti-Notre Dame rule, which is what effectively you would have to have now. It's like it's going to be the top 4 ranked, out of the 134 FBS 1 teams, except for Notre Dame. Like that's a different, like specific carve out for one little. I mean, what is it? Us and UConn are the 2 independents. So even if it's just like, you see the difference. It's like one thing to accept. Okay, they're going to be the 4 conference championships. Okay, and then kind of by default, Notre Dame can't get a bye. But it's separate. It's like, okay, it's 1 through 12, except for Notre Dame. Like that's bull garbage. And I mean, he did the right thing by not. I mean, I'm sure if it got brought up, but he said no, that's not going to work for us, and it worked out. So,
yeah.
Hey, John, a little bit of non-Notre Dame matters, if I may. So I'm a displaced Atlanta Braves fan. So I grew up in South Carolina, and I'm actually in South Bend now with the family. And so we're going to adopt. I know this is putting myself up for misery, but we're going to adopt the White Sox because cheering for the Braves and the MLB Network and all that stuff is too far away. And the White Sox are the closest team to us. It is surprising to me. I have tried. I would think in Northwest Indiana / this part of the country, I could find White Sox gear somewhere around at regular stores, but it is freaking a desert. There's Cubs stuff. There's like Brewers stuff. There's all sorts of stuff. I can't find any White Sox stuff anywhere.
Don't do it.
Our first game on
Don't
Monday.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I need a team I don't care about. I need a team I can't get attached to. Kind of like Bears, whatever. So
man.
I don't have enough bandwidth to.
Oh man, this is the first year. I mean this. I have not watched one game. I have not gone to one game. I have not listened to one game. It is intentional. I've been pushed too far. The next time I engage with the White Sox will be when Jerry dies or the team is sold. I am not giving them 1 second of my emotion, my attention, or my money until there's a new owner. I've been pushed too far, hurt too much, and I'm done. They are out of sight, out of mind. Baseball as a sport is dead to me until he dies or sells, and I don't care which comes first.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, I hear you. I just I'm good to try to take the boys to get invested in something, and not invested. At least go to a major league game. And I will say the tickets are much cheaper than going to a Cubs game.
Yeah, and and on a practical level, it's a lot easier to get in and out of there. You know, so I do agree with that. Like driving into Wrigley is just a nightmare. But I wouldn't wish Sox fandom on anybody, man. It's a rough way to live.
No, I agree with you. It's all the emotion and heart of the Irish, and the other teams are just something to keep track of. So I know you were a long-suffering White Sox fan, so I would, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Baseball was my first love as a kid, and they have ruined it for me. So it's been a miserable, long journey. I got a small kid. Hey. I'd like to bring my kid to baseball game and go to family day and enjoy the day and get her around the game. Hey, I'm not doing it.
No, I hear you. All right, good stuff. Hey, Irish, I don't know. I think it's going to be a great season. I definitely would hammer the over on. I mean, I think the only way the season isn't awesome is like the quarterback or the offensive line just like completely fall apart, which I don't think either is likely, barring ridiculous injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really optimistic on the season. I think the Irish are going to look good in the opening week, and
stay
independent. Don't sell ourselves short. Irish by a million.
I love it, man. Hey, have a good weekend and stay away from the White Sox. It's good for your health, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? How much time you got? Price on a Friday. Every time I'm on the field, Love's on the field, scoring all the touchdowns. I want to give me some rush yards too. Walter, I like that. I like that long suffering. They won a title in 2005. They've made the playoffs one time since then. I'm supposed to be okay with winning one time 20 years ago and not being competitive ever again? Come on, man. It's not just the last World Series. It's the lack of being competitive ever since. If you were in the playoffs or whatever and competitive and not winning the World Series, that's different. But you went from that World Series to making the playoff like one time in the next 20 years, bro. I asked for too much? Jeez, that's tough. That is tough. What's going on, Tim?
First of all, how's your mom doing?
Yeah, better. I think we got that all figured out and trending up, and hopefully we're good to go. So, yeah, good news on that front. Thanks for asking.
Good. I'm real glad to hear that. Okay. Did I miss something? I'm listening to your show for an hour and a half, and the call and just the overall tone. Guys, we're a couple plays away from winning the damn national title. Now we're not going to be able to schedule. And, join the Big Ten. And I still think there's people out there that are not sold on Marcus Freeman, which I cannot understand. Because you're holding in the season. Look what Lou Holtz did his first 2 years. I think Marcus Freeman's accomplished a hell of a lot. And John, I just wanted to slip my damn throat with just the overall attitude of the calls today. It's like, what do you guys enjoy the year we had? It's going to be tough. It's going to take a regular season. We almost did it.
Tim, I think some of what you're experiencing is summer, man. It's that summertime sadness, just like the song. I just think people's minds are wandering all over the board, man. And there's not actual football. So people are running the gamut on the high end and the low end and what could go wrong. I just think that there's a lot going on in people's minds, man. And they're talking it all out. And this is the therapy room.
I get it, but my God, I got to do with all the sports and how we've only been to one Final Four in basketball, and the women choke big time when they had all the talent. But be positive. People want to just make up scenarios. You deal with something once it happens, not before it does. You want to be proactive, fine, but I agree with you. You made an intelligent statement where you said Bavacqua's not that stupid. You don't think he's bright enough to say, well, this could happen. How am I going to counter? Come on. Yeah. You don't get to the level of jobs he's had. People don't give, I don't know what it is. I think they want to be quarterback or Monday morning quarterbacks and second guess what we're doing. I think we've got the right people in place.
Yeah, I listen, man. If ever there was a time in modern Notre Dame land to have confidence in the direction of the leadership, now would be it, between Bavacqua and Freeman and even the new president that's of a little more younger generation. Now's the time to trust the leadership and to believe they're going to keep you where you need to be.
All right, I have to ask this. Go down this one. Did we lose a big-time recruit or something?
Not
that just rumored.
Listen, man. I logged in and Commander was going off about some article he read about Rodney Dunham visiting South Carolina. And then he had 8 paragraphs ranting on how we lose all of our good players and it's all over and this class is going to crumble and you could kiss Dunham goodbye. And you can only commit to Notre Dame if you're never going to take a visit anywhere else. I don't think any of that's true. I don't even know if that rumor of him taking a visit is true. Some people are saying that's an old article from before he committed to Notre Dame. I don't even know if that's true. So don't let that worry you.
Either you want to, as I've said numerous times, either you want to be at Notre Dame or you don't. And let's face it, with how you can do it today, if you're not happy, you're going to leave within a year anyway. So if you're having doubts, you don't want the kid anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, man. But he was freaking out about Dunham taking a visit. The reality is, in the modern era, if you're going after 4- and 5-star guys and you tell them when they verbally commit to you they cannot take any more of their 5 official visits, you're probably not going to land many top players. They want to take their visits. They want to be catered to. They want to do all that. And if you have a hard rule they can't visit, you're not going to land those guys. They want to be wined and dined and do all that. So, it's your choice. If you want to say, if you commit to us verbally, no more visits, which sounds right to me, you could do that, but you're not going to land a lot of top guys. They want to be wined and dined and possibly 69 on those recruiting trips. So you don't know what you got to let them visit, I guess.
There's just no more ethics. If you're not ready to commit, then don't commit.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I know it doesn't work that way, but keep your options open. Say, all right, I'm not ready to commit. But once you make the commitment, then you commit. But that's just the way today's world is. I mean, the one thing that does shock me is the fact that ND is spending what they are in NIL in today's world.
Yeah.
I for a while, I did not think we would do that.
I have
But I
been
guess they figured they looked at the bottom line and said, if we don't do it, we're going to be irrelevant.
I have been assured Notre Dame is competitive and money. That is not an issue holding us back. They are getting open to the idea that you're going to have to promise incoming freshmen a decent amount of money to get them to commit. Notre Dame originally, that wasn't the idea with NIL. It was like, you get in here and be a good little boy. Maybe in a couple years, you have some deals coming. They are adjusting there, and I've been assured the money's not going to be a problem. And so that's good news.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm real glad for your mom, John, and you have a good weekend.
Hey, take it easy, man. Have a couple cold ones and relax, Tim. I'll text you, I'm sure. See ya.
All right, take care.
Have a
Take
good
care,
one.
John.
Oh, man. We got nice callers. Oh, boy. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. What's up, Nick?
Hey, Johnny, I just got one question for you, bud.
Oh, boy.
Did you see that PFF ranked our wide receiver room at number 10 in college football this morning?
I did briefly see that, and I don't know what to make of it, man. Is that overly optimistic, or do you think that Notre Dame's receiving group got a lot of credibility for the playoff where Greathouse kind of emerged and was more of a weapon? Or like, why do you think that is, especially when you don't even know exactly what you have at quarterback throwing it to him?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Well, I hope they're right.
Yeah,
But
me
anyway,
too. But they're really okay. Or does it mean that there's like not a lot of good wide receiver rooms, so it's a low grade, like a low average there? But it's a little surprising to me when you don't even know for sure exactly what you have at quarterback thrown it to him that you're that high. But what do I know?
Yeah, what do I know? Anyway, me and Mikey got into a little discussion right at the beginning of the show, and I think he misunderstood what I was saying. I want a bye if we can get a bye, but if we don't, roll the sleeves up, boys. We got to win forward.
Yeah, it's
that's the only way.
Listen, man, it's just I'm a dummy with math, but even I know, man, you cannot get knocked out of a playoff in a game you're not playing. So you like automatically advancing. I understand the double bye layoff. You got to be confident enough your team's going to be to use the time wisely. But I mean, it's easier to win 3 games than 4, unless my math's wrong.
No, you're right. But I don't think the quarterback is going to be as big a worry this year as everybody else does. I think they're going to say, here you go, Mr. Love. Here you go, Mr. Price. Here you go, Mr. Williams. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And then when they stack the box, then that's when the quarterback got to come in and do some stuff.
Yeah, it's man, it's just everything with that offense. I'm like, wait and see. Let me see how this new quarterback integrates into the college game. Like, you're dropping a lot of expectation on the guy. Like, I at least just kind of want to see how we're going to do here. Like, but man, that's a lot of praise. But number 10, if you are, then congratulations.
Yeah, that was great news for me. I do have some bad news. I got a family reunion on the day of the Purdue game, so I'm not going to be able to make it to the tailgate.
Boo.
I'll be there in spirit, though.
Boo. You got to bring the whole family reunion to the tailgate.
I don't know if I can do that, Johnny.
I know. I'm just kidding, man. Hey, that's okay. You're around. You're around enough, man. I know your loyalty. We'll see you at the blue and gold game then.
Well, all righty. You have a good rest of your show and a good weekend, Johnny.
Hey, you take care, man. Tell the wife I said hello. You guys have a great weekend, okay?
All right. Bye.
Take care. Have a good one. Man, tell you what, it's a wild world out here, people. Let's take a look at some of these chats from earlier. Let's take a look-see. Here we go. Mikey Poles, my security. I have a theory about Notre Dame's potential playoff seeding this upcoming season. I guarantee even if Notre Dame goes 12-0, they won't get ranked higher than the 3 seed. I'm assuming that Mikey is assuming that the Big Ten champ and the SEC champ are probably going to be ranked ahead of Notre Dame no matter how good Notre Dame is. Makes sense to me. And you could beef about that, or you could just say, hey, man, take your bye and then see where it lines up or whatever, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, exactly. The Big Ten and the SEC champ will get ranked out of them. Yeah, and well, let's see how it goes, man. See how it goes. I wanted to get back to the Rodney Dunham thing, part of this. And what I think is, here's the deal. Like we kind of got into. If you, in the modern era, the way this stuff goes, you got 5 official visits. If you tell these 4 or 5-star guys, if you verbally commit to us, you cannot take any more visits, which to me is fair, because why are you committing? That's like getting married, but you're still dating. All right? That's it. It doesn't make sense to me. Why are you calling it a commitment if you're still looking? Intellectually, it makes no sense to me. But in this part of the world, for some reason, it's okay that you commit, but you're also still looking and being wooed and being wined and dined and whatever. However, if you don't let guys do that, you're not landing those guys. You're just not. Like, if you want to have that hard line stance of you verbally commit to us, you can't talk to anybody else, go for it. You're not going to land a lot of those guys. They want to have the experience. They want to see what's out there, whatever. And you got to just kind of deal with it. Trust me, intellectually, it makes no sense to me. You're going to verbally commit while you're looking at other stuff. It's like getting married, but you're on a dating app at the same time. So it rubs me the wrong way, but that's just kind of the modern world that we live in. It just is. Call it the get a regular size drum tailgate. Yeah, you're darn right. Maybe I'll get a drum and light it on fire at the tailgate just to represent the Purdue side of things. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Commander says that's the simp way of living, John. Commander, you could go the other way and just say, if you commit to us, you can't take any more visits. Fine. And you're going to have a bunch of RKGs that look like John Kennedys that want to be there, and no good teams are even going after them. If that's what you want to do, you're going to be bitching either way. A guy like you's going to complain either way. You land the highly ranked guys and they want to take their visits or whatever. You're mad about that. If you don't let them do that, you're not going to land those guys. And then you're going to be mad about that and say that we don't have any talent and the recruiting sucks. So there's nothing that we're going to do here that's going to make a guy like Commander or Ronald happy unless they change the cooking oil at the local Rick Donald's, bro. So I don't know. It definitely rubs me the wrong way. It's intellectually incongruent. It totally rubs me the wrong way. But I'm realistic enough to understand that that's just the modern world that this sport's in. I don't like it. It would drive me nuts. If I was head coach, I'd be losing my freaking mind. But it is what it is. USC lost 5-star with the no visit policy. I'm telling you, you could try and do it if you want. There's an ego and a little bit of entitlement that comes when you're one of those high 4, 5-star type guys. And if you're not going to let them look around, they're going to go, well, screw you then. Like, whatever. So you're playing with fire, man. You're playing with fire. Ronald, we will lose at least 4 recruits. I just picture Ronald like in the storage room at the McDonald's, in the storage room where they have all the pop, and it's like the cardboard rectangles with the liquid hose with the syrup. And I picture him on a laptop. He's like sweating through his wig, and he's in that back room and he's typing these comments out. And then he opens the door. Hey, we're out of hash browns. And then he closes the door again and he's typing. Ronald, I love you, man. What a great character. Although I got to say, I kind of miss and morbidly obese. Clearly, that's clearly a part of the equation. It's really funny, Ronald. Like, somebody at the counter, is the manager here? Ronald's going, tell him I'm not here. I got to tell you, though. Here's what I'm mad about. I'm mad about in the season when this was real juicy, we had Burger King, Wendy's, and Ronald McDonald all in here together. I want to know where the hell, lay off me, I'm starving. I want to know where the hell Wendy's and the Burger King are at. Where are they? I liked seeing them all go at it in the chat against each other. It was really, really entertaining. Oh, man, that's funny. Whoo, boy. Man, the mental images of some of this group it's actually quite interesting. This is a good one. Question. Who was the worst fan base you've had to deal with at a game in South Bend? Mine was Florida State. They were falling down drunk, running their mouths all day, even with the crappy record. I've had some Michigan. It's Michigan for me. And again, everybody's answer is probably going to be different depending on what games you've gone to. So if you aren't there for some, you're not going to see some. I've had problems with the Michigan people. The USC people, you know what? Half the time that we host the game in like mid-October, they're so cold. The USC people I see aren't even running their mouths or doing much of nothing, but walking around all entitled and freezing cold in mid-October. So I have not had a lot of issues with USC people at all. For me, in South Bend, it's been the Michigan people. And the problems that I've had with it, if it was a one-off, I wouldn't make a big deal about it. But when it's multiple games over multiple years and I find a trend, that's where it tells me you really do have a problem. The issue I had was total disregard and disrespect for the grounds. And I'm talking like literally kicking garbage cans over and creating a mess, drinking beer and whipping it at vehicles in the parking lot. One of those times we parked, this was before Always Irish and all this. You park in the white lot and take the free shuttle from the white lot over to Touchdown Jesus where they drop you off. We're on that bus for 5 minutes. And these people are literally potty mouth cursing the F word, whatever. When there's little kids on the bus, you just don't do that. Pounding beers and slamming them on the ground on the bus, spraying people with beer, just foul language when there's families with little kids on the bus. I don't like that kind of thing. Can you just have a little couth, at least in the moment? Maybe people are going to say I'm soft, but like the way they were, Commander, I saw that too. Urinating on the gravestones in the little cemetery there near the, near where you pay for your $900 golf polo in the fancy bookstore. I've seen him peeing in the cemetery. Like I've had a problem running into classless Michigan people on our campus that are not respectful of the grounds. But literally like I'm a drunk 21-year-old and I'm walking by. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick over this barrel full of garbage so it goes all over. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Before they moved Newt Rockney's grave into the cemetery near the bookstore, he was at another cemetery like 10 minutes kind of towards out of town of South Bend. And I saw a video, it was like 15 or 20 years ago, of some Michigan people that found that gravesite and then on their way in town, literally pissed on Rockney's gravesite and put it on social media. I have no patience or respect for the Michigan people. The whole Walmart Wolverine thing, bro. Straight up, it's a guaranteed, bro. This is not the law school people in Michigan that are lawyers now and all. No. These are the Walmart Wolverines. This is full mullet, the jeans with the loop for the hammer, wife that's 486 pounds, like barreling around town with you, and you're like a skinny dude with a mullet and you love Michigan. I have no patience for any of it. I don't like those people. I don't respect those people. I have a problem with all those people, and I don't have patience for it. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, act like an adult, man. You could drink and have fun and whatever. You don't have to go that far. Like, you don't have to go that far. But it's always the same type with the Michigan thing, dude. It's some skinny looking dude with a mullet and like a Walmart, Michigan jacket. The wife is 2.5 times his size guaranteed. And they barrel through town like they got life figured out. And I just can't handle it. I don't like any of those people. But it's not, there's so many Michigan people that are literally put together and have law degrees and are like kind of a classy cut. Those are not the ones that come here and do this. It is not. It's always the mullet guy, the Joe Dirt looking guy, and his wife, the Kool-Aid lady. It's always that. Keep your mind out. Keep your eyeballs up. Keep your head on a swivel, and you'll see what I mean. That's always the dynamic with them. Rubs me the wrong way. And on that pleasant note, we're going to wrap up the show. I really do feel that about them. I'm not exaggerating. And so you guys are great. Here's one thing I'm going to throw out at the crowd. I have an idea for some content, but we'd have to go on the road a little bit. I need security. For the idea I'm going to do, I need security. Not like, security. I mean, like, if I want to do the content I want to do, I need people there that if something happens, they're able to step in and stop it or do something. I need security. So if anybody's willing to do security on a little Always Irish remote, let me know. But I need a little beef to watch my back. So maybe Mark with glasses, count me in, bro. You're having trouble avoiding snapping your ACL on an empty pizza box. Is this really going to save me? I just need a little security. I need somebody to watch my back because I want to do some fun stuff. Tell you this, who the hell's going to mess with me? Who is going to mess with me if I walk in there and I got a Ronald McDonald in full clown gear, just all beefed up, standing there? You ain't messing with Always Irish. This clown takes it serious, baby. So I have some ideas, but I need security because I have a feeling it wouldn't last long and it would escalate quickly what I want to do. So I don't know. Maybe we start with Indiana and Purdue because they're in state and maybe that's easier for people, but I need a little security, bro. I need a little security. So let's think about that. All right, you guys, this was hilarious. This was funny. You guys are fun. I like it. And have a good one. Be good. Take care. Thanks for everything.